got so much to show.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you what I carry with me to yoga. So I have my bag right here, and it's actually a fairly large tote. The other totes that I have is probably like half or maybe 3/4 the size of this. I got this earlier this year when I attended the Natural Products Expo in California. And this is one of the many totes that they were giving out. Like, many of the brands had branded totes. And this size has just been absolutely perfect for my needs. So the first thing that's poking out of this bag is yoga blocks. I carry my own yoga blocks to the studio. Might be a little weird because they do have blocks at the studio, but I'm someone who, I just like having my own things. And I guess a secondary reason, which I still think is a valid reason for me, is that kind of a germaphobe, especially in like a public space like that. If I can have my own things, that's what I prefer. This is something that like we put on our backs, or sometimes we rest our heads on it. So I just think about sunscreen, and because I'm allergic to a lot of like chemical sunscreens, I just don't want to mess with that on my skin. And like, my sensitivity is to the point where like my husband, he'll wear a sunscreen on his back if he sits in the car seat, and then I get into that car seat after, like I will break out on the backs of my arms. And so I don't want to take any chances with that. I have these non-slip socks, and they're the ones that have the little individual toe insert things. Not my favorite. I was hoping for one that just looked like a regular sock with the silicone grips on the bottom. I also don't like to be barefoot in public spaces, and sometimes I will walk around the studio barefoot, but previously I was just wearing regular socks and I actually fell really hard because I just slipped. And then ever since that, I didn't want to injure myself. So I just got a pair of these, and they just live in my bag. I haven't used them for this purpose yet, but I did hear that this is great for travel because you don't need a yoga mat to practice. So essentially you can just put these on and just practice anywhere. And I feel like this would be, way more efficient for travel, because then you don't have to pack a yoga bag with you, a yoga mat with you, if that's something, that you wanted to do while you're on vacation. So that's interesting. I know that they also have like fingerless gloves with the silicone grippy thing. So if you put those on and these socks, I imagine you probably could get a pretty nice practice on without being on a yoga mat. This next product I've had I think I got this in like 2005 or 2006. So that's like about 12, 13 years. It's this yoga towel from the brand Yogi Toes, and it's just one of those towels where one side is this material, I don't know exactly what it is. The other side, it has the little silicone grips, and this is great for a class like hot yoga because if you're sweating, this kind of catches it. And when I used to have like not the mat I have right now, I currently have the reversible mat from Lululemon, but before that I had like a regular standard, like one of those cheap, maybe cheap isn't the right word, but I did get it for free. Maybe that's why I think it was cheap. For that, whenever I would go into a yoga class where I'm sweating more than normal, I found that like I couldn't get into certain poses because my hands would start slipping. Because of that, I picked this up, and it has been going so strong. Like I mentioned, I've had this for over 10 years. It fits perfectly over the size of my yoga mat. We actually have two. This one's mine, and we have one for Brandon as well. So the next thing I have is a Turkish towel. This is slightly bigger than the size of a hand towel, and what I like to use this for is obviously, if I'm sweating, I'll use it to wipe my face or my body. Mostly I use this for like a class like yin yoga where we use props, and one of the props we use is this bolster, which is basically like a really large cushion. And we use that for various different poses. For example, like a supported child's pose. So then I would be hugging it and I would be in child's pose, but then my face would be on this bolster. Now, I don't really want to put my face on something that is shared by so many people. So I always take my little Turkish towel and I drape it over the bolster. When we get into a position like the heart openers where the bolster's on our back and we're like lying like this, I don't want to put like my bare back on the bolster. video is gonna make me sound crazy. I really like this specific brand. I have a few other Turkish towels from a different brand, but I find that this is really, it's softer, it's thinner, but it's still as absorbent. And what I like is that there is a tag on this one as opposed to the other ones that I have. And for me, that makes it very clear that the non-tag side is the side that touches my face, and then the side with the tag is a tag that touches the public props. Another use for this that I just remembered is that when I get into child's pose, my yoga mat, the one from Lulu, it stains very easily. And so if I have sunscreen or like a tinted sunscreen or even like extra skincare on my face, like if I have a face oil on or something and I rest my forehead on the Lulu mat, it will stain it. It will leave an oil stain. And then I have to like put in some elbow grease to get that out. So to prevent that, I also use this to put over my mat in the places where my face would touch the mat. I have one more towel in here, and this is the last one. I carry a little microfiber towel around. I just have a bunch of these for home. We have different colors for different areas in our house. If I need to wipe down my yoga mat at the studio, they have cleanser there. So then I can just spray the cleanser, and then I bring my own microfiber because they do have rags there, but again, the germs, I want to use my own stuff. So that's like all the big stuff in my tote. And then I have this little makeup pouch that I carry with me. In here, I carry this little field notes notebook. And it's just a plain ruled notebook. But the reason that I started carrying this is because I found myself, especially in the more relaxing, slow-paced yoga classes, so many ideas start forming in my head. And a lot of times, like if I'm in, you know, like a resting pose, or if I'm like meditating, then I'll kind of just watch them come and go, like pass by like clouds. But sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like it might be a video idea that I have and I just want to write it down, or I don't want to forget it. I started putting this notebook just next to my mat sometimes in the event that like I need to roll over and just jot something down. This has been really, really valuable for me. And along with this, I just carry a pen. And this is the Pentel RSVP pen. I carry 2 essential oil blends with me. This one is an organic peppermint oil mixed with jojoba oil that I like to just put some drops on my wrist and the back of my neck, and it's so cooling. I've talked about this in my most recent gratitude video. And then the second one I carry is from doTERRA. This is the Arise blend, and this is part of the yoga collection. They have like 3 different essential oil blends. It's like a citrusy but kind of, it's like a very invigorating scent, and it's in a base of fractionated coconut oil. So again, this is something that I just put a little bit on my wrist, and as I'm like moving in class, I get whiffs of it, and it smells so good to me. And because this is so part of my routine, it's like this scent is so tied to yoga with me, and I feel like it just kind of brings another element to my practice. So yeah, these 2 are always in my bag. Then I have this little mirror I got in Korea years ago. There's something special about it. It started peeling a little bit, and so I just have a Glossier sticker on it. I've got some mints that are like more fruity than minty, and yeah, after yoga class, sometimes I just kind of really want candy, or like I feel like I have yoga breath, you know. I don't know if that's a thing, but you know, you're just like in a class without like talking for so long, and then I don't really want to chew gum, and so I'll just pop one of these in, and this just tastes so good. This is the watermelon flavor, and I really like them. And the last thing I have in here is an extra hair tie, because that's like the last thing I would want to get in my way when I have everything and I show up for class and my hair, I can't get it out of my face. I've also found that this has been kind of useful just to have in here, because not always, but often like someone will be like, oh my gosh, I don't have a hair tie, do you have one? And I have like lent this to people. So there are 4 other things that are not in this bag because they're things that go in and out. For example, my wallet. Sunglasses is another one that just goes with me wherever I go, so I don't currently have it in this bag. My water bottle, my hydro flask, and lastly, my phone would be with me, so this would be in my bag as well. So that's everything that I carry with me in my yoga bag. If you have any essentials that you carry that you must have with you when you go to any of your classes, I'd love to hear about them down below. So feel free to leave me a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!